Hello guys, and welcome to week 2 of the Every Bits Counts Challenge. My name is Lauren and welcome back. This week we are on vacay. Yes. Vacation. Finally. One that doesn't rain. So last time we were on vacation in June, it rained the whole entire week. It sucked. In July it was too dang on hot. So now in August, hopefully we get some reprieve. It's windy here at the beach and we love it. But just because we're on vacation doesn't mean that we're going to stop preserving some food. Basically, there's a way to preserve for the winter time while on vacation. Step 1, hit up your souvenir shops. Hold on, bud. Your souvenir shops are going to have all kind of trinkets and treats, but you're looking at the treat part. Have you noticed that those boxes of like candies and sweets that are cellophane and wrapped up, you can actually preserve those for later. Nothing like pulling out some saltwater taffy in the middle of a snowstorm. So think of those kind of treats that are readily available on your vacation that are already wrapped up and preserved for you to enjoy. Hi, and welcome back to day 8. It's August 8th, and I have a humongous cucumber that I'm trying to slice very thin. I have an idea. There is like a soury sesame flavored cucumber that I used to eat while living in Japan, and I was trying to mimic that, but in a fermentation style. Not quite sure how it'll turn out, but come along with me as I figure out this idea. It might take 2 days past today, so like 3 more days, or 2 more days rather, for it to ferment before I'm able to add in that sesame flavoring. But let's give it a try and see how it works. Last week I showed you guys a bag of corn cobs from what we took off the husk, took off the corn niblets. I went ahead and grabbed those 20 to 30 ears of corn, threw them in a pot and boiled with water. I received about a half gallon of this corn liquid, and I'm going to turn it into a corn syrup. Adding brown sugar allows for it to have a mapley or very close to a maple taste, which we use over pancakes when our maple syrup runs out, or we add it to cooking dishes so we don't have to use our maple syrup. Coming from, I have the syrup boiling with the lid off. This will help it to evaporate down and get thicker and thicker. If you keep the lid on, what's going to end up happening is it won't evaporate the excess water or steam, and it will keep it liquidy. So keep the lid off. Some people do half the lid, like partial, so you could do it that way also. Okay guys, they're out of the canner. They're cooling down right now. They're still very, very hot to touch, but they will act as wonderful syrup on top of pancakes, or if you make granola and it calls for maple syrup or honey, you can use this as a replacement. Good morning and welcome to day 9. It is Wednesday, and I wanted to show you guys what a batch of the corn syrup looked like. This one is from last year, 2022. So I wanted to show you guys kind of what it looks like. I'm going to turn this into some granola today, but just so you can have, just so you guys can have a taste of, I'm sorry, so you guys can see that yes, it is liquidy compared to maple syrup. It does work well with baking. Okay, so in this bowl I have oatmeal, tablespoon of sugar, some gluten-free rice puff, some flour. You can use any kind. Oat flour is really good for this. That's almond flour, salt, baking soda, and oil of choice. Coconut is pretty good. And I'm going to add in the 3 tablespoons of the corn syrup that I made. Hello guys, it is August 9th.
Yeah, we're in the jungle again.
We're at the grapevines.
And it's called a jungle.
Jungle for picking number 3. It is still plentiful. So this will be mostly juice. Maybe a second batch of grape jelly. We'll see. I haven't made the grape jelly yet. I juiced everything and got it into the freezer. But I'll show you the harvest when we get done. Good evening. Today is Thursday the 10th and it's another late night canning session, and today we're doing grape jelly batch number 1. I'll go ahead and show you. See, 11 o'clock right on the dot. So I have the grape juice heating up. My sugar is set apart here, and I'm using the Pomona's pectin. So inside of here is already 2 teaspoons of the calcium water, and then the pectin has already been mixed with the sugar. I'm bringing this to a boil, then I'll add the sugar. My jars are already boiling hot, and that way I can can it all very quickly. So I was able to get 3 jars of the grape jelly in this little bit. We're going to go ahead and munch on that, and let's get these 3 into the canner. Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, August 11th. I had to think about that. And today I was able to get up and get some biscuits made because we wanted to enjoy some of that grape jelly that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and serve up the family because I think everybody loves grape jelly and biscuits. So let's get that served up. We are getting into peach salsa. The recipe comes from the Ball canning book. I think it's called the complete book by Ball. It came out 2012 or something. I don't know. I have so many Ball books, even some from my grandparents. So. But we're going to make peach salsa. I'm doing half the batch because I'm trying to show you different ways to use peaches up when you go to preserve them, and you can afford 2, 3, 4 bushels of peaches, but you can afford just enough to fill your shelves with some goodies. So let me show you a little bit of what we have now. So we have red onion, green pepper. It calls for red, But I had green on hand from our plant. And these are the peaches. Some vinegar. I have not added all the seasoning just yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave this kind of chunky, mash it along the way, put it in the blender, half and half. I haven't figured that out yet. But one of the best things about candy salsa is that it's very forgiving. This recipe actually requires cilantro. Whew. But we love cilantro in this family. However, when I can with it and go to eat it, it's like kind of slimy. So what I'll do is can it without the cilantro. Then when we go to open the jar, I'm going to dice up fresh cilantro, probably get it from the grocery store, and add it right into the salsa while we eat it. This will be perfect. This peach salsa will be perfect. Pour right over chicken breast, turkey, usually like turkey wings, turkey drums, turkey breast, and put it in a crock pot, put it in your oven. If you guys got an Instant Pot, you could do it that way, but it brings so much flavor. You could shred up all that meat and have sort of like a tropical tortilla, tacos. You can eat it over rice, but it's a different way than just eating it with chips. Let's get some cumin down in it. And some black pepper. I'll give both of these a stir. Hey guys, they turned out beautifully. And of course we already indulged in some last night. It's always nice to have a pretty new color versus like the dull green of when you can. So this peach salsa too will go to my mother. And of course I'll keep 2. If she loves it, of course she's probably going to ask me to make another batch. Which we could, because it takes less than 10 peaches to make a full batch. Maybe 10 to 11 if you have small peaches. But yay! Peach salsa. Now let's go eat it with some chips, because yesterday we just ate it over some beef. Hello everybody, welcome to the last day, week 2 of the Every Bit Counts Challenge. And today we're going to get some juice going on today. I have with me a pot of boiling water. It's hot, and I have my canner right here that is also heated up. I'm going to get the jars warmed through. They're right here, clean, ready to go. And once they're warmed through, we will be able to add in grapes and cherries to make juice. This is one of the best ways, in my opinion, and the easiest ways to can, because it doesn't take much preparation. The easiest part is literally, or the hardest part rather, literally is cleaning the jars and making sure they're warm through, because everything else is done for you. You can do it sweetened, you can do it unsweetened. And this is a water bath process. I'm just happen to use my pressure canner right now because I can get up to 7 quarts in it, and I believe I've prepared 5, but I have a 6th one over my shoulder ready to go if I'm a little shy. And if I have to, I got a 7th to run and go grab. I should not need it. So in here, I have my Concord grapes, picked from our garden. Oh, it's dripping all over the floor. Picked from our garden. This basket was half full when I picked it with you guys earlier in this week. And then I also have some cherries that came from my Azure order. So those items will be easy to can up, and it makes such a wonderful juice. To pop open a jar of fresh fruit-based juice in the wintertime, oh, it's so good. So let's do first thing first. Let's get the jars warmed. All right, so I got you guys kind of high enough, so hopefully you can see. These are pitted, dark, sweet cherries, washed and pitted. This is a 1 cup measurement. And because they're pitted, they're gonna squish more into the 1 cup measurement, so it's okay if you're a little generous. Oh, down the cherry. So I do about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of cherries, which brings you to about half the jar. We'll eat these last bits. And then onto the Concord grapes. Ooh, sour. I have an unripe grape floating around in there. Alright, so it looks like I got 3 jars that time. Any kind of runaway grapes, just throw them in. Ugh. Okay, so now is your preference. Do you want sugar in them or not? I usually do 1/4 cup of sugar in the grapes. I don't do any sugar for the cherries. Usually I don't. But this is your choice, and this is the time to add it. Alright, so next is that boiling plain water that we got off to the side. Go ahead and fill your jars up. If you have a ladle, if you have a funnel, use your funnel with your ladle. I have one. I just don't feel like getting it out. I'm leaving a 1-inch head space because the fruit will float to the top while they're in the water bath. Wipe the lid, the tops, as your lids, your rings, into the canner it goes. Okay guys, they're out the canner, still hot. Like I said, the fruit will rise towards the top, and then as it cools down, they will trickle down to the bottom. All of these will get darker. Of course, this is the cherry, and these 3 being the Concord grape. They will get darker and darker over time. Matter of fact, I canned some last weekend. I'll go ahead and show you what a grape and cherry look like. Alright, so here's a cherry. Let's see if I can set them next to each other. This one is darker, and then here's a grape. It's already starting to get darker. I hope you guys give canning juice a try. You could do this pretty much with any fruit. There's some that may not be as good, like pears. It might be a little too mushy, so you tend to boil that off with water and can up the juice. Same with apples. But you could do this with any of the harder fruits. Pineapple will be great. Oh, I should try that. But yes, give this a try. And then when you open up a jar, all you do is pop this top, strain the fruit out. You can even eat the fruit, throw it in a freezer, get it nice and frozen, put it in a blender. You can make little sorbet with it, or you can put it on top of other things like yogurt, and then go ahead and drink the juice. If you want it sweetened and you did not can it sweet, that will be another time to add some sugar to it. If you need to thin it out because it's too concentrated for you, then you can add water. But put yourself some juice on the shelf, and that way you don't have high fructose corn syrup in your child's diet. Just fruit, water, and any kind of sweetener you choose. I hope to see you guys next week as we transition on into week 3 of the Every Bit Counts Challenge. how are you putting food up on your shelf for this cold winter that's approaching? For us, we're definitely going to be enjoying some juice. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye.